a dirty motel room, 8 miles off the coast of Mexico. For people trapped inside, armed smugglers outside the door, and the warning was simple. If we don't get our money, we'll take a finger, an arm, a machete to the wrist, and you will never play baseball again. This wasn't a movie script.
I do expect big things out of him. He's so talented. He's going to make some mistakes. He's going to make some bad plays. We're just hoping that the good ones outweigh it.
And a high fly ball into deep left center. Havana, Cuba has arrived. Que viva Cuba!
This was real life for Yasiel Puig. Most baseball fans remember him as the flashy outfielder who played with pure chaos. The guy who licked his bat, admired massive home runs, blew kisses to the crowd, and somehow turned every game into a show. The wild horse. But almost nobody talks about what he survived before he ever stepped onto an MLB field. From earning just $17 a month in Cuba, to signing a $42 million contract with the Dodgers. From escaping a communist country, to surviving cartel threats in Mexico. This is the rise, brilliance, controversy, and downfall of Yasiel Puig. Puig was born on December 7, 1990, in Cienfuegos. His family lived a modest life. His father worked in a sugarcane factory, and money was always limited. There were no private baseball academies or luxury facilities waiting for him. Just dirt fields, old equipment, and raw talent. But from a young age, Puig looked different from everyone else around him. He was stronger, faster, more explosive. Even as a kid, coaches knew they were looking at a special athlete. Baseball quickly became his obsession and his possible escape from poverty. In Cuba, baseball was more than entertainment. It was national pride. The country treated great baseball players like heroes, and Puig was becoming one of the brightest young stars in the nation. By the age of 17, he had already made Cuba's national team and helped win the World Junior Baseball Championship. Scouts from around the world began paying attention. His talent was impossible to ignore. He could crush baseballs with unbelievable power. His throwing arm looked like something out of a video game, and despite his size, he moved with shocking speed and athleticism. Many believed he had future MLB superstar written all over him. But there was one major problem. He was trapped in Cuba. Cuba's government controlled its athletes completely. Players could not simply leave and sign with Major League Baseball teams. And despite being one of the country's top athletes, Puig reportedly earned only about $17 a month. $17. Meanwhile, MLB stars in America were earning millions every year, living in mansions, driving luxury cars, and becoming global celebrities. Puig knew he belonged on that stage. But there was only one way to get there: escape. And escaping Cuba was incredibly dangerous. If you failed, you could be arrested, punished, or permanently watched by authorities. Families could also suffer consequences. Still, Puig kept trying. Starting in 2009, he attempted to defect again and again. One attempt failed when police stopped the vehicle transporting him. Another failed because the boat never arrived. Authorities raided one safe house and detained everyone for days. During another escape attempt, the U.S. Coast Guard intercepted their boat near Haiti. Failure after failure. Most people would have given up. Puig didn't. Over 4 years, he attempted to escape Cuba an unbelievable 13 times. Think about how insane that is. 13 failed attempts. 13 chances to lose everything. But every failure only made him more determined. Because he had already seen what life could look like outside Cuba. He knew there was a bigger future waiting for him somewhere beyond the ocean. Eventually, after years of trying, Puig finally made it to Mexico. But freedom still wasn't guaranteed. The smugglers connected to his escape had ties to Los Zetas, one of the most violent drug cartels in Mexico. Instead of safety, Puig found himself trapped in a filthy motel room while armed men waited for money. One of his companions later described the terrifying situation. If payment didn't arrive, the smugglers threatened to permanently injure Puig. A finger cut off, a hand destroyed, anything that would end his baseball career forever. Imagine surviving 13 escape attempts from Cuba, only to end up sitting in a motel room wondering if cartel members were about to destroy your future with a machete. That was his reality. Every extra day increased the price. The smugglers demanded more money constantly. The fear inside that motel room became unbearable. Puig once had a saying back in Cuba: "Sleep is when it's your turn to die." And during those nights in Mexico, he believed it completely. He barely slept. He stayed alert constantly. because one violent moment could end everything he had sacrificed for. Eventually, people connected to baseball operations managed to rescue him from the situation. Soon after, Puig traveled to Mexico City to work out for Major League Baseball scouts. The moment scouts saw him in person, everything changed. The power was real. The arm strength was unbelievable. The athleticism shocked everyone watching. One Dodgers scout reportedly became so convinced by Puig's talent that he woke up another team official in the middle of the night to push for signing him immediately. Soon after, the Los Angeles Dodgers offered Puig a 7-year contract worth $42 million. Think about that transformation. From making $17 a month in Cuba to signing a $42 million deal in America. From cartel threats to Dodger Stadium, it felt unreal. The wild horse had arrived in Major League Baseball, and baseball had no idea what was coming. Puig debuted for the Dodgers in 2013 and instantly became one of the most exciting players in sports. He didn't slowly adjust to MLB pitching. He exploded onto the scene immediately. In his first week alone, he hit towering home runs, delivered clutch defensive plays, and played with a level of energy fans hadn't seen in years. Legendary Dodgers broadcaster Vin Scully gave him the perfect nickname, the Wild Horse, because Puig played baseball like a force of nature. Everything he did felt explosive. Every at-bat felt dangerous. One moment he'd launch a massive home run into the stands. The next moment he'd throw a runner out from deep right field with a laser throw. Fans loved him because he made baseball feel exciting and unpredictable. During his rookie season, Puig hit .319 with 19 home runs in only 104 games. He finished second in National League Rookie of the Year voting and quickly became one of the biggest stars in baseball. Dodger Stadium came alive whenever he stepped to the plate. People expected magic every single game, but the same personality that made Puig exciting also created problems. He clashed with baseball's old-school culture constantly. Managers criticized his attitude. Teammates sometimes became frustrated with his behavior. Puig admired home runs too long, showed visible frustration after strikeouts, and occasionally lost focus during games. Manager Don Mattingly even benched him at times for lack of discipline and emotional behavior. Some people saw passion. Others saw immaturity. Some saw charisma. Others saw chaos. But even during the drama, Puig continued producing on the field. In 2014, fans voted him into the All-Star game, proving how popular and exciting he had become. And when Puig was mentally locked in, there were very few players more dangerous in baseball. In 2017, under hitting coach Turner Ward, Puig had one of the best seasons of his career. He hit 28 home runs and helped lead the Dodgers all the way to the World Series. For a while, it looked like everything was finally coming together. The talent, the maturity, the superstar potential. Many believed Puig was entering the prime years of his career. But things began falling apart again. By 2019, his time with the Dodgers had ended. He later played for the Cincinnati Reds and briefly spent time with Cleveland. The flashes of brilliance were still there, but the consistency wasn't. Off-field distractions and controversy continued following him throughout his career. Then came another crushing setback. In 2020, Puig appeared close to signing with the Atlanta Braves, but the opportunity disappeared after a positive COVID test. That moment quietly changed everything, because after that, his MLB career never truly recovered. Instead, Puig continued playing baseball around the world in countries like Mexico, South Korea, Venezuela, and the Dominican Republic. The superstar who once electrified Dodger Stadium was now searching for opportunities outside Major League Baseball. And then came legal trouble. Puig became involved in an illegal sports gambling investigation and was later found guilty of obstruction of justice. Now, the same man who escaped Cuba and survived cartel threats faces the possibility of prison time. It's one of the most unbelievable stories in modern sports, because the talent was absolutely real. 132 home runs, 834 hits, a .277 career batting average. Those numbers prove he was a very good player. But statistics alone can't explain Yasiel Puig. The real story is everything behind those numbers. The escape attempts, the dangerous ocean crossings, the cartel motel, the machete threats, the fear, the survival instinct. Maybe that's why he always played baseball with so much emotion and chaos. Because for years, baseball wasn't just a game to him. It was survival. And that's what makes Yasiel Puig different from almost every player who ever played the sport. He didn't just chase a dream. He risked his life for it. He crossed oceans for it. He survived criminals for it. And no matter how complicated his legacy becomes, nobody can ever take that story away from him. Because before the fame, before the money, before the controversy, there was just a kid from Cuba willing to risk absolutely everything for freedom. If this story hit different, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more unbelievable sports stories. And comment below, was Yasiel Puig one of the biggest wasted talents in MLB history, yes or no?